Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. We've been doing this for over 20 years. And so this topic of how to deal with a overly or a highly sensitive partner, this needs to be addressed in a way that really makes sense, that doesn't give you like, do this, try that, but gives you an understanding that allows you to do what's most important in your marriage, and that is get into your heart, get aligned with your heart. Let me explain what that means. We are human beings. What does that even mean? What it means is that you're essentially a soul. This is not religious, but you're essentially a soul. You have a body, you have a mind, but essentially you're a soul. And as that, as a human being, you might say we live on three different planes at the same time, kind of a blend. Because this body that we have is sort of an animal body. It's biological. We're not highly advanced animals. I throw that theory out completely. We're a special creation by God as human beings, and the proof is even within our physical form. But the physical form is still a physical form, and it's comprised of animal parts. And as you know from school, every single cell is imbued with this drive to survive. That's how we know life. Life is anything that has the drive to survive. And so this body that we have, you might say, has a mind of its own. Now, every cell is intelligent, but not like us. It doesn't have a consciousness, but it's intelligent, and it's always striving to survive. We have the mind. And so what's happening is the body is constantly telling the mind, watch out for this, watch out for that. There's an opportunity, take advantage of it. It's like the most primal thing. Animals live on that plane. It's the primal living. And we all live on that plane a little bit too. It's primal. Now, if someone is purely primal, they're psychopaths. They don't care about anyone but themselves. Most of those people are in prisons. And so what's happening is this primal is driving our behaviors. Now, then we don't live on that plane. We live on the plane, the mundane plane, the day-to-day plane, where we're somewhat evolved and we have a philosophy, a conscience, and so we're guided to mitigate this primal desires. You know, for a man, it might be that on a primal level, he wants to chase every skirt. But his morality says, no, I'm not going to do that. And so then that's the primal being mitigated into our mundane lives. And most people just live in a mundane life. But when you get married, that's not what you want. Because there's this other part of us, the essential part of us, the soul. The nature of the soul is the opposite of the body. It's selfless. It's all about love. It's all about joy. The soul, if you were to define it as you define the body by survival, you would define the soul as eternally loving and eternally joy-filled. It's a part of God. You are a part of God. And as a human being, we're constantly in this struggle. Do I behave like a soul, or do I behave in a primal way? Or do I just go through life mundanely? So when we get married out of love. Our marriage should be based upon love. It's all about love. And we want to lift ourselves up into that place of love. And so when it comes to dealing with our partner, I didn't just share all this for nothing. when it comes time to dealing with our partner's sensitivity, guess what? Because our relationship is to be based on love, how we deal with what we consider to be maybe a flaw, we should do it from a place of love. Now, personally, my prayer has been for many, many years. I've been meditating. I've been a meditator for many, many years. And my prayer is always, and has been for a long time, Lord, teach me to love as thou dost love. And it's a scary prayer in a way when you think about it, because look at what the great saints of the world have gone through by behaving that way. But when you're in a marriage, you're now in a sacred space that's just the two of you, so it's a safe place to come from a place of love. But you have to get there. And in order to get there, there's a lot of work to do, because you have to learn how to master your mind, which is now being mostly controlled by habits, habitual reactions, habitual ways of seeing things. And you have to take charge over your mind, or you will be reactive. And reactive is not good. So usually when someone says, how do I deal with my super sensitive or even just sensitive spouse? They're going, how do I change them? Well, you don't. It's not your business to change your spouse. I know there's a lot of talk about we help each other grow in marriage, and that's very true. But we don't do it by pointing out their flaws or even acknowledging them, because that's not loving. So you want to learn how not just to deal with this particular topic, but you want to learn how to love them unconditionally. And that's the whole deal. You get married so you can experience unconditional love, don't you? You get married, and don't buy into this love being an emotion. It's not. It's a whole thing. The soul is love. You want to learn how to love unconditionally. And also, happiness is a birthright. Now, I know this video is getting a little long, but I'm going to share this with you anyway. In everything that we do at the Marriage Foundation, it's based on science, on logic, and the science doesn't end with spiritual stuff. Even though we're not religious, we acknowledge, we recognize that we're spiritual beings, we're souls. Love is a spiritual thing. It's tangible, but you can't touch it, feel it, experience it with your senses, measure it, or anything like that, but it's very real. So this thing about happiness in marriage, most people think, oh, you live through it, you suffer, you go through this, you go through that. No, no, no. You're a human being. It is your birthright, literally, your birthright to be happy all the time. How do I know that? Well, and this could sound religious, but I'm not coming from a place of pushing religion down your throat at all. But God is our Father. He's our eternal Father. In some societies, they say God is the mother. Fine, either way. God is the parent. Don't think of God as some creator off in the distance, sitting on a throne, who created this, and now he's got a scepter and he punishes you. God is love. God loves you. And God has given us the consciousness of happiness. We know when we're happy. And we also know we can be happy just by sitting still, just by closing our eyes and experiencing ourself, which is the soul. So this consciousness of happiness, the fact that we have it ever, means, because we also have free will, and you already know that, means you should be able to have it all the time. Well, what's preventing you is the knowledge of how to tap into yourself, your heart, your higher self. And marriage helps you do that because it takes two things: getting rid of the flaws and taking on the attributes of joy. And it's doable. I am not talking from some high, mighty place. This is all available to all of us. You know, I'll tell you a story. Many, many years ago, when I first started doing this, it's over 20 years ago, and I was working with couples and individuals. A social worker, a local social worker, I think she was in Vista, heard about me and sent me a couple. And they had a voucher. And I got $300 a session at that time. I was very successful as a divorce mediator, and I knew what I had was very valuable. And the voucher was for $36 for 2 hours. But I wanted to see, you know, these people, they weren't dumb, but they were poor, so that meant they were in a different strata of life, because that's how it is. We live in different stratas of life. And I've never judged people for their poverty or their wealth, and I've known very wealthy people and successful people, and I've known very poor people. And these people were poor. And they weren't that sharp. They weren't. They weren't dumb, but they weren't like sophisticated. And I thought, okay, why not? I can do this. And let's see if what I share will work for them. And so I met with them 3 sessions. And you know what? They got it. They got it. Maybe it's because they weren't so sophisticated. I don't know. But they got the idea of love. Of love. And they got the idea of joy. They got it. And they got the idea of their own thinking getting in the way. And that if they learn how to control their mind, which is a very sophisticated idea, controlling your mind, but everyone can do it. They did it. Their marriage was collapsing. Not when we were done. Their marriage was on a trajectory of fulfillment with love and happiness. They did so well. Everyone can get this. And everyone should. But we don't learn about it. We don't learn about mastering our minds. We don't learn about caring for each other with all our hearts and love. We don't learn about these things. We don't learn about the benefits of that. You know, we see it in memes on Facebook and stuff, but we don't learn about it. We don't try it because there's no guides. And so I'm trying to get this out. So try it. Go to our website, watch these videos, learn and apply. It'll change your life. There's literally nothing better than a marriage that's amazing, and everybody can have an amazing marriage. And just about everyone, when they first hear about this, they go, yeah, but, and I'm telling you, yeah, but nothing. You can do it. You can do it. So I hope you liked this video. I'm sorry it went so long. God bless you. Take care. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. And if you want to like the video, if you want to leave a comment, be my guest. Take care. God bless you.